I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
From Zen
.com. We just taught a class in Zen Academy on healing the mother archetype, and we got to talking about our own personal mommy issues we've had to work through ourselves trying to learn to mother as adults.
Basically trying to adult. Some people have great moms. Some people had conflict with their moms.
Mm-hmm.
David and I had different kinds of conflict, but we want to talk to you guys a little bit about mommy issues.
Mommy issues, give us a hashtag mommy issues.
No, either like as a mommy or being a mommy or a parent. But here's my telltale. Okay, I was Googling, let's look up some mommy movies and see if, what is out there. So you have mommy issues when. Okay, so before this live, I Googled movies about mothers and daughters. I was curious. I realized that the only ones I had seen out of the top 20 mother-daughter movies was Mommy Dearest, which is like the one about the no wire coat hangers, and she was like a hot mess. So it's like, and then I saw Beaches on there with Bette Midler. That kind of dates me. And that was like a feel-good mom-daughter.
We want to know from you guys, what is your favorite feel-good mommy-daughter movie? Any kind of a mommy movie can definitely, bring up mommy issues.
Mommy issues.
Right.
So we were just kind of talking about this the last couple of days about how those come out with you. We saw It chapter 2 last night, and there were mommy issues in there. I'm like, man, it's crazy the variety of mommy issues that are out there. And the Addams Family is coming out. And that kind of fits for me. That's a family
honestly
movie.
That's much more of a family that I can get behind that relates to me, right?
The Addams Family.
Yeah, from growing up, at least they were real.
Yeah, they were definitely themselves.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So what we didn't talk about in class was being a mom or a parent yourself. So how does that show up for you? Sometimes our mommy issues show up in the way that we react to our kids or the way that we parent, okay? So when we're talking about being a parent, we're not just talking about mommies, because daddies can also have mommy issues that present that are reflected or triggered by having a kid. And you're basically like your parent or parents.
Well, there's a lot of single parent homes out there, and you have to be mommy and daddy. So it's kind
or
of
daddy and mommy,
whatever it is. So sometimes something comes up. This for me, this is how, when I have my kids were little, sometimes something just comes out and we go, OMG, I sound just like my mom, and not in a good way.
Right.
Sometimes when we do things that we're hearing of our parents, we're like, I want to carry on that tradition. And sometimes you're at a hair trigger, you're frustrated with your kids, and something comes out and you're like, I sound just like my mom. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So an indicator when my kids were little for me that I had mommy stuff to work on was when I would get complimented on being a good mom. I mean, you would think that would be, something that would make a mom feel good. It's triggered something in me. And it's not that I had a lack of confidence in being a mom, because I loved my kids. I still love my kids.
Right.
They're still here.
And you're an amazing mom.
Yeah. And I loved being a mom,
but
being complimented on being a good mom, I think old issues would come up, and I'd have a reaction that I couldn't quite get to the bottom of, like, oh no, I'm a mom and people know my mom, and my mom was the one I had conflict with. And now I'm in the hot seat. And it was a totally irrational response that I had to unravel, when my kids were little, and kind of figure out, why am I reacting when people actually compliment me on being a good mom?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
And if you guys have any questions or any stories related to this topic, by all means, drop them in the comments.
But a lot of what we do in our work with our private clients is work mommy daddy issues and all kinds of issues that are in your way. So love to hear your variety. If you want to share, we're not trying to get up in your business.
For me, particularly being a parent and raising kids, my mom was basically mom and dad all at once, and she did the best that she could. But there were a lot of things in her parenting style that just didn't fit reality, kind of. And I found myself, especially when I was younger, doing some of the things that she would do, because that was the only role model that I really had as far as parents go. And I was like, oh no, I need to stop this right now, because it's not healthy. And I know it's not healthy, but it's an irrational thing that you do because that's the role model that you've had. So you consciously have to go back and make those shifts and make those adjustments. And sometimes those things get triggered from your kids and from that kind of interaction. So let's face it, when you have kids, all your mommy issues can get triggered. So
Yeah.
this can also be the best time to work on them. So don't take out your old mommy issues on your kids, right?
So I think you have to take stock, right? And make some
Right.
conscious decisions around it.
Make it conscious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, those mommy issues,
Issues.
those mommy
Those
issues.
They just rise to the surface and take you by surprise in the heat of the moment. It's not about when it happens or when you find yourself triggered. It's what you do with it from there. Do you continue the pattern subconsciously and just go through it because you don't know any better? Or do you take a step, take a breath, and change the pattern?
So not that I was like this perfect mom or anything, but like
Yeah, you are.
I kind of had this like I kind of when I was really young had a presence of mind that I'm not sure all kids have, but I
Mhm.
had kind of a presence of mind with seeing how my mom would do things. And when I was 5 years old, like first week of kindergarten, and I came home and I was really frustrated with the teacher.
Mhm.
She was frustrated with me. I was frustrated. There was some sort of, I didn't remember right now what it was, but
Mhm.
I came home with my little drawing. This is not my drawing, but this is just a piece of paper. And I was like, Mom, I hate my teacher, right? I'm 5, right? I don't know what hate even is. And
Mhm.
so, and then my mom kind of went, oh, like I had just killed a dog, right? In cold blood,
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, you're not supposed to hate. Jesus doesn't want you to hate. And I'm like, I had no idea what to do with these really powerful negative emotions that were
Mhm.
coming up. I'm 5. So I'm 5 years old and I have no idea how to resolve negative emotional conflict within this happening. I just know that the feelings that I am experiencing and sharing with my mom are shocking, bad, and Jesus is potentially angry with me.
Not even potentially.
Like, yeah, I'm like,
Jesus hates you too because you just hate somebody,
He's mad at me because we don't hate because Jesus doesn't hate. So it was this
Okay,
whole
so he
thing.
doesn't hate
And
you,
I
he's
was
just mad at you.
really trying to wrap my head around this. I'm like, but I'm just mad at my teacher. So I had to suck it up.
Mhm.
And I my mom had she could have taught me some like conflict resolution or
Mhm. Or
actually
coping skills.
or heard my story out.
Yeah.
Like, why do you hate your teacher? What's
Mhm.
going on? So in that moment, I remember literally saying to myself, wow, when I have kids, I am not doing this. I really
Right.
need somebody to hear my feelings right now. I didn't know what to do. You don't get an owner's manual when you have kids. I just
Right.
figured it out as I went along. I just kind of sometimes.
You also don't get an owner's manual for being a kid, I mean, you kind of go through it and then any child
Right.
issues that you have, any of that inner child, I know we're not talking about inner child today, but those inner child issues that you have, those can sometimes get triggered from your kids too. So being a mom, being, having that mother archetype, having that father archetype, and having that child archetype, because they're all kind of like the original Trinity. Those issues get triggered, especially as a parent. Okay.
Faux show.
So Dancer says, my mom never, and still doesn't, understand me or really see me. So when I feel like I'm not meeting my kids' need to be understood, it's a big anxiety trigger for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because those moments when you feel like you might be your mom, those are big trigger moments. And you've got to go in and you've got to consciously rewire and give yourself the assurance. And basically in that moment, or after that moment, when you have calmed down, become your own perfect mother to yourself. Give yourself the archetype that you're missing.
So I've got a great suggestion for you that I used with my kids. And I think the biggest thing for me as a kid was not having my emotions validated. Because like as people, we just want our emotions validated. Like we know that somebody sees us when they say, I see that you're unhappy. I see that you're angry. I see that. So that worked really well for my kids and us, bonding with my kids and having them feel like somebody understands them. When I would simply just go like, I see that you're mad. And let's talk about it. I see that you're angry. I see that I would acknowledge that emotion, like literally go, I see that you're angry. And then that kind of opened the line of communication. Because I think that the biggest thing for me with my mom was that she closed the communication down immediately by not validating my emotion.
And even worse than the communication was your emotion itself.
Validate the emotion first, and then they're open to like feeling understood. And the community, it helps better when they're teenagers too, and they're trying to hide stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I had anxious moments like that having kids. Like I want to do better than. Well, the goal for being a parent, I think, is just to screw your kids up a little less than your parents screwed you up. That's like, if you can do that, You might be on your way.
So Omar says, I just wonder sometimes how I know my mother from other lifetimes.
I think sometimes that kind of letting our mind go into what was this? What am I still trying to resolve? What did I come into this earth with? Are kind of good exploration some way, because it helps you sometimes, because it helps you unravel that complex,
Dynamics.
web that's in your head. And I think, we come through with our own mommy issues that may not necessarily be related to the mother that we have. So I think you don't necessarily always have to resolve those issues with that certain person. The primary thing is to resolve the issues within yourself. And then they're just, not an issue anymore. So tell us, what kind of things did you experience as a kid that have made you change your approach with your kids?
Yeah.
I know that's one that I did, but I'd love to hear like new twists on it. What things have you made
that made it important enough for you to make a shift in how you treat your kids?
Right. That stood out so much that you were like me, like, I'm not going to do that with my kids. I don't know what to do. What things have made you make the conscious decision to not do?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Sometimes when we're healing these archetypes as adults, we have to not just fill something that wasn't there, like become your own perfect mother, become your own perfect father, etc., or heal the pain. But it can be almost more important to know what not to do. Right. Like, don't invalidate your kids' feelings that they don't even know how to navigate yet.
Or don't lock them in the basement.
So the other
with no food.
That's also, or don't lock the fridge.
Don't lock the fridge. His mom used to lock the fridge.
It was a thing. I mean, I thought it was normal.
No.
The way that we were raised and having our feelings kind of invalidated, because I had similar stories, having the feelings invalidated gave us a lot of really good tools to do the work that we do in validating the emotions of our clients, regardless of what those emotions are.
Yeah.
So it's worked with kids. And it's worked with our clients.
I don't long to have a different experience, with my parents, because they got me to a place that I am. But I think every person has to go through their own healing journey with parents they were in conflict with. Conflict with my mom, my dad, and my dad was my best friend. So it depends on your dynamic. So we would love to hear your stories. Yeah. Because those, give us ideas about, places people are stuck that we may not have seen before. So
it says authoritative, do as I say. It's still part of me, but I can put myself on pause and rethink things. Yes, it's not about when you get yourself caught up in the moment of being the authority, being the, the hard edge, whatever that dynamic was that was taught to you that feels unhealthy. Even if you get caught in it, it's not about how many times you get caught in it, but can you slowly over time reprogram it and shift yourself out of that dynamic, because it's a learned behavior. So train yourself.
Well, kids mimic their parents' behavior. I mean, kids learn more about how their parents behave than about what their parents tell them. And then we do it ourselves as we're older with our own kids or even with people. And we do it non-consciously until we realize maybe we're hurting relationships. And then we consciously resolve those behaviors.
Yeah. So if you like this video, hit that like button 5 times.
If you have any other insider stuff you want to know, if our dark secrets, let us know. Let us know in the comments, because we do like hearing from you. You give us so much inspiration for life and what you want to know, and we want to hear your stuff. So
and we want to tell you our personal stories.
Be sure to subscribe
and click the bell to turn notifications on,
so you're the first to know.
The first to know.
I feel like I'm toothless or something.
When we drop a new video
or go live, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy! And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource, and the fact that you guys have chosen to spend that with us, absolutely honored. But most important, for yourself, leveling up your skills, taking your life to a whole new level. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.